Well, we're going to look at three more properties: font weight, font size, and the line height. Let's get started. So if we come here, we can start with font weight. So font weight gives us essentially the degree of boldness or non-boldness of the text. So if I use a font weight of normal, nothing happens. If I use a font weight of bold, you notice that it goes bold. Now if I go back to normal, just so you can see what normal looks like. Okay, that's what normal looks like. Now I can also say lighter, and this will make it lighter than it would normally be. And in this case, lighter doesn't really do much. Bolder makes it bolder than it would normally be, which kind of just gives us back bold again. And then we can also use numbers, but there are only 9 numbers that we can use. We can use 100, and that got light. And sometimes it's hard to see the difference between them. We can use 200, so basically we count up by hundreds. So there's 200. 400 here is considered normal text. So we look at that, and nothing much changed. So you have some fonts that just aren't going to change much compared to others. 700 is the same as bold. And I don't think this is going to give us much more if we go to 900, but let's see. Yeah, I thought it went a little bolder, but not a whole lot. So mainly font weight is normal or bold. We have those others that we saw. So I'm just going to put this one as normal. I'm going to come down here. We'll make this bold. And we'll make this a 900, just as bold as it can possibly be. So if we do that, that's what we get. So that's font weight, basically dealing with normal or bold or degrees of boldness. We can also change the size. So I can come here and say font size. And for these, there are a variety of different ways that we can give sizes. First of all, we can use relative sizes. So I can say smaller, so this means smaller than it would normally be. So watch what happens here. It got smaller. I'm going to go back to normal. Actually, I'm going to go back to, I'm going to take this, and I'm going to put it down here. And I forgot to pick up the F, because I want you to see, this was smaller. I want you to see normal, so there's normal. And then I can take the size up to larger. And larger will make it bigger by a certain amount. I can also use absolute values, like there's X, let's see here, XX small, and there it is, it's tiny, right? Here I could have XX large, and now that's huge. You can see what happens there. And I can bring the font size down to here. I can also give it a size in terms of length units, like I could say 12 point type if I want. And then I get 12 point type there. So I can adjust it that way, and I can also adjust it by percent, and that might be in some ways the easiest. So if I make this 100%, I get back whatever my normal was. If I take this 100% up to here, let's say I decide to go with 90%, it'll be slightly smaller, and up here I could even go with 130%, and it'll be 30% larger than expected. So these are the kinds of things that you can do with font size. Finally, we have the line height property. And line height adjusts the whole height of the line, including space above and space below. So if we look at that, we can use normal if we want just our normal line height. And we can use a scaling factor. So if we use something like 2.5, that multiplies the line height by the size of the font. So if I do something like that and save, now you notice I put a lot more space in between the lines. Although that one's not used so much. Again, we can use pixels and other kinds of length units. Most common, again, is using percent. So if I use 80% for my line height here, now you notice that this line is actually crashing into that one a little bit. If I make this line height 110%, wait, what did I just do? Oop, I just made the font 100%. Sorry about that. No, I did that right. Okay, sorry, I was looking at the wrong spot. All right, so if I made that 110%, and here I could make it a little bit larger, say 130%. And you see how that opened it up a little more. I guess if we really want to emphasize this, we could do something like 170%. And now you can see that it's really widening the line. So you use line height to decide just how close these lines are going to be to each other. And that now is the end of our look, for now anyway, at the various properties that we can use to change all kinds of things about the text.